Hello, everyone. I'm Sierra.
And I'm Ashley.
And this is your Weekly Dose of Wicked.
On this day of Podcastmas, my favorite podcasters gave to me 12 poisonings, 11 eyeball pluckings, 10 sleepless weekends, 9 missing hobos, 8 awkward dates, 7 medical malpractices, 6 southern stabbings, 5 golden rings, a quadruple homicide, a few cryptic notes, 2 teenage dirtbags, and a lunatic ex-husband.
Welcome back to day 11.
Today is December 23rd, which is my favorite day of the year. Is Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve. You're so ridiculous.
I love Christmas Eve. It's my favorite day of the year.
Because you're a weirdo.
Well, more than likely, at this point, I'm done editing our podcast for Podcastmas. I've got all my presents wrapped. My house is clean, and I'm just watching movies and drinking hot cocoa.
I hope that is the case for you, but we'll see.
It's going to be the case, Ashley. Don't talk the kind of negativity into the atmosphere. What's wrong with you?
Okay.
Shut your mouth.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to put you on the naughty list when I return your Christmas present.
Okay, go ahead. I told you not to buy me anything.
I would never really do that, Ashley. I'm not that awful of a sister.
Okay, anyway, so let's jump on in.
Let's do it.
All right.
Sing the jingle. Let's go.
On the 11th day of Podcastmas, my favorite podcasters gave to me 11 eyeball pluckings.
Are the eyeballs in a jar?
Close.
Okay, that's what I'm hoping for.
Close, okay.
I'm really excited.
Well, you can be excited, but just so you know, this case is very short.
Oh, okay. I'm very excited for that because that means editing will be a breeze.
Honestly, it'll probably be 10 minutes. I'm not even kidding.
Okay, well, whatever. I feel like by this point, honestly, we're slowly dwindling our listeners. I think people will probably just catch up after Christmas, so it's probably fine.
Yeah.
People are getting real busy.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. So this case takes place in China. So pretty hard to find info. In case you didn't know, China is a communist country and they control all of the media.
I had no idea.
I know, so that's pretty shocking. So they censor their news and they don't really release things that make them look bad. So couldn't really find a lot.
Having 11 people's eyeball plucked is not good for their image.
No, they actually have a pretty low crime rate.
Do they though, or do they just control that?
Oh, I don't know, but that's what it says. They have a pretty low crime rate, so...
I find it interesting that they would... What's the word I'm looking for? When you, filter things. What is it called?
Censor.
Yeah, censor. That's what I was looking for. Thank you. I find it very interesting that China would censor having 11 people's eyeballs plucked, but they have no problem openly talking about how they only allow one child per household. Is that not China?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure China's the one with, the birth allowance or whatever. Are they not?
Probably.
I'm pretty
sure. But I
don't
think we should take our time criticizing China and their government because they might get mad. So.
How are they going to know?
I don't know. But China's pretty powerful, so.
Okay, they did. They had a one-child policy, and it was enforced for most Chinese into the 21st century. But in late 2015, Chinese officials announced that the program was ending.
Well, at least it ended, I guess.
Now they allowed each family to have 2 children.
Well, that's pretty crazy. I thought that was a myth. I didn't think it was real, but hey.
No, it was real. I knew it was real. But they have no problem announcing or making that known, but they censor a murder. Okay, whatever. Okay, China, you're the best country. Go ahead.
Okay, so anyways, we probably should have looked into the cases just a tad more before we chose them, but...
This is what happens when you fly by the seat of your pants.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so between March of 2008 and April of 2007... No. Let me try that again.
Are they time travelers?
No, they're not. Okay.
Okay, try that again.
Between March of 2008...
All right, go again. I rebound you.
Between March of 2008 and April of 2012...
That's better.
Around 20 people went missing in the Yunnan Province in China. Most of these were teenage boys or young men. The police didn't think that they were related and thought that these boys just ran off. The public in the area did not agree. They thought that the boys were kidnapped to work in illegal brick factories. Forced labor was a really big problem in China, just like sex trafficking is a huge problem in the US.
I believe it.
So after many pleas from the community, the Ministry of Public Security, which I'm assuming is like the FBI,
Okay.
sent a team
Chinese
to...
FBI, got it.
Yeah, the Chinese FBI. So the Ministry of Public Security. They sent a team to the Yunnan Province to supervise an investigation into the missing people. That is when a 19-year-old, Yan Yao, I think is how you say that. I don't know. I'm probably butchering all of these names, so please forgive me. He was confirmed to have been murdered, and the missing men were then taken seriously.
So just to pause real quick, I don't really think we need to be worried about like China listening to our podcast because actually they censor what goes in and we're not allowed in China. Our podcast does not air in China.
I mean, I didn't think it did, but
we had to like fill out a bunch of paperwork and I didn't do it. So
good.
Just let you know. So we don't have to worry about that. I don't think.
Well, there we go. So they believed a serial killer was actively attacking males walking along a particular secluded road in their village.
Mm.
The investigation lasted 20 days. So that's some pretty quick investigating.
Yeah. Did they determine what it, 20 days, did they solve it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is quick. I was thinking like they spent 20 days on it and gave up.
No,
or
20 days and they solved it. So go China.
I like that.
Go
okay.
the Ministry of whatever you're called. Ministry of Public Security.
I like it.
So pretty seemingly out of the blue, on May 9th, 2012, a man named Zhang Yongming was arrested in connection with the missing boys. The 20 people who went missing were all within 2-mile radius of his home.
Oh, okay.
There's not a lot known about Zhang Yongming. He was born in 1956. He lived in a wooden shack on the outskirts of the village. He was a farmer who loved chess.
Oh, shit, Ashley. We are in China. We've had 10 downloads in China. I'm sorry,
Seriously?
China. Yeah. I didn't think we were allowed there. It said I had to like fill out paperwork and I didn't, but we've had 10 people. We've had 10 downloads. So, I mean, not a lot of listeners in China, but somebody's in China's listening.
Well, probably the government to see if we're allowed. And they chose not to.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Well, anyways. So, farmer, loved chess.
Maybe it's
from Duckworth?
McLovin. Yeah, he's in
That was
Japan.
not his name. Yeah, he was in Japan. You probably shouldn't say his name on the podcast.
I'm not going to keep it on there, obviously, Ashley.
Okay.
God. Give me a little bit of faith, would you?
Well, sometimes you leave some things in there, and I'm like, what the fuck, Sarah? Anyways, that was besides the point. So, Zhang Yongming would often sell vegetables and other things at the local market. He was quiet, and he really didn't talk to anyone. A fun fact, in China, your last name is the first name. So Zhang was his last name, and Yongming was his first name, like in America. So like his family name was Zhang.
Okay.
I thought that was interesting.
Okay.
I clearly don't know how China works.
I knew that, but it's okay. Thank you for letting me know.
Okay, anyways. So previously in 1979, Yongming was arrested and sentenced to life in prison for murder. Not much was found about the case except that he dismembered the victim, and he was released in 1997.
Did you not just say he got life?
Yeah.
And they still let him out? What the hell?
Yep. 20 years later.
Okay.
Well, less than 20 years later, 18 years later.
Okay.
He went to jail in 79, or it happened in 79, and he was released in 97.
It doesn't make sense to me when we give people like life with the chance of parole in 12 years. Like, no, that's not life.
Right. So it says that he got out because of sentence reductions. I don't know what those reductions were, but
right. Probably
I don't know
overpopulation of prisons.
I mean, yeah, probably, or like good behavior.
Maybe.
But I don't know how you go from life in prison to less than 20 years. That's quite a discrepancy.
Yes, I would agree.
So when he was released in 97, he was given some land and an allowance from the government to get him on his feet.
Okay.
And then he was arrested again in December of 2011.
They gave him land?
Yeah.
The fuck?
Yep, some land and some money.
Okay. I mean, I the money thing I get, because like they do that here too, but they don't give you land.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty crazy, but apparently that's how things work there. I don't know.
Okay, that's super weird, but okay, we're just giving prisoners land. Yeah, give them a place to kill people. Sounds good.
Yeah. So in December of 2011, he was arrested again for attempted murder. He tried to strangle a 17-year-old boy with a belt. The boy was walking by his house in public. The boy screamed after he put the belt around his neck. And so, that's not funny. Why are you laughing?
It's not funny, but it's not funny, but I'm really tired. And it was kind of funny. The boy screamed.
It's not funny. Stop laughing.
It was funny. I'm sorry, but it was funny. The boy screamed because there was a belt around his neck. Like,
Anyways, because of his screaming, he alerted the community, and then this was seen.
well, that's good. I'm happy
So-
to hear that.
And the police arrested Yongming, but Yongming convinced them that he was just messing around.
I mean, yeah.
He was just messing with that boy. He just was having fun. It wasn't a big deal.
Okay.
And they believed him and they released him.
I mean, it was a belt. Like, it's not like it was a serious weapon.
I mean, he was strangling him.
He clearly did not strangle him because he screamed. If he was actually being strangled, he wouldn't have been able to be screaming.
Okay, well, either way, he was trying to strangle him.
Come
so-
here, let me practice you, and I'll and tell you if
No.
you can scream.
Yeah,
and nothing
because you're a
would come
sociopath.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, so the police just chalked it up to Yongming being a local crazy person. You know, every town has one of those. And he just wasn't a threat. So
I mean, every town does have a crazy person, but I still feel like if they're running around strangling people, we should probably do something about it.
I mean, I agree, but the police didn't, so they let him go.
Okay.
So during the investigations after this 19-year-old was determined to be murdered, and they arrested Yongming, they searched Yongming's home and found one of the missing boy's belongings in the home. Han Yao, that 19-year-old that went missing in April, they found his ID, his bank, and his telephone cards, all in Yongming's home. One source also
Nice.
said that they found his body, but that was
What?
only one source, so I'm not sure of that. Yeah,
A
they said
whole ass body.
one source said that they found his whole body, a whole ass body, in his home. Now, I'm not sure of that, but that's what the one place said. So here's the best part. Well, not the best part. The real kicker to the story. They also
Okay.
found strips of human flesh that were being hung out to dry around his house.
That's disgusting, Ashley. That's absolutely disgusting. What is wrong with
Yeah.
you?
I didn't say it was good. I said it was a kicker.
I would have left that out.
No, it's important.
Okay. Where are
They
the
found-
eyeballs?
I'm getting there. They found bags of bones and dozens of human eyeballs being preserved inside of bottles filled with alcohol.
Mm.
Dozens of eyeballs. Ugh, gross.
That was supposed to be 11.
Well, it said dozens. So, I mean, I'm assuming like... Well, there were 20 people that went missing, but they only charged him with 11. So, who knows how many.
So, I mean, that would be 40 eyeballs. That would be dozens.
Outside of his house, he had a small garden. They found more human bones there. It was believed that Yongming fed the human remains to his dogs, along with eating them himself.
Ew.
So, apparently, in my research, I found that cannibalism was kind of popular in China at this time.
What?
They were going through like some sort of a depression, and so people were really poor, and so they resorted to cannibalism.
So who were they eating?
Each other, I guess? I'm not really sure.
Like they weren't murdering people and eating them, right?
I don't know.
Or were they just like, grandma died?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay. Glad it's never gotten that bad here.
Yeah, me too. Very proud of that.
I have a hard time eating things that are not bought at a grocery store, let alone a human being.
Yeah.
A human being. Can't do it.
Yeah, I can't do it either.
I have a hard time eating deer. So,
Yeah, anything other than like cows and chickens. Sometimes pigs.
Yeah. I don't even like pigs, so
That's why I said sometimes.
I only like cows and chickens.
So, in 97, he added a new item to his local market that I told you about. Ostrich meat,
No.
which they believed was actually dried human flesh.
It's disgusting. So he was feeding the people to other people.
Yes.
That's disgusting.
Disgusting. Ugh. So the reports say that Yongming strangled his victims and then used various different means of disposing of the bodies, including dismemberment, burning, and burial. There were reports that people in his community had gone to the police previously about eerie, green, overflowing garbage bags that smelled and looked like human bones were hanging out of them.
Oh, that's nice.
But the police ignored their claims.
Oh, that's good. Good police work.
So in July of 2012, he went on trial. He was accused of strangling 11 people and dismembering, burning, or burying their remains. Reports say there was a large amount of physical evidence and DNA connecting him to the victims. I guess from like the things they found in his house. I'm not really sure. It didn't really go into detail about that. Like I said, China not given a lot of information. He's assumed to be responsible for more of the missing males, but he was only actually charged with 11. His lawyer claimed that he was mentally ill, but the court-appointed psychologist found Yongming fit to stand trial. It was reported that he refused to apologize for his actions to the families of the victims and showed no remorse during the trial. He was found guilty and executed on January 10, 2013. Since the police failed... No. I don't remember. I didn't put this in there, so I'm not sure, but I looked into, like, the amount of executions that China does. It is insane. Like, they are just executing all kinds of people.
Well, they have a 1-child limit because of overpopulation, so that doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, not anymore. Now they have a 2-child limit. But either way, like, China's overpopulated. That doesn't surprise me. Like,
yeah, they are, like, do a lot of executions. Like I said, I don't remember the number, but it was pretty crazy. So, obviously, the police really failed at this case. They didn't believe the claims. There were lots of disappearances, and they thought the boys just ran off. So basically, they just didn't do their jobs to protect the community. So 12 officers in that precinct were penalized, and the Jining police chief and the head of the Jinxing Township Police Station were dismissed from office.
I thought you were going to tell me they were executed.
No, they were just fired. Well, the first 12 were just, like, punished, and then the other 2 were fired.
We were like, they do a lot of execution. So these 12 officers, I was like...
No,
like,
I mean, no, I don't think so.
Okay. Whew. I was like, that's going to be not good.
Yeah. All right, so that's it. That's your 10-minute case.
All right, well, thank you for that. I really appreciated it. Sorry that I left.
It's okay.
It's not okay. It's unacceptable. It's disgusting.
You're tired. It's like, we forgive you.
I hope so. Well, all right. Thank you. Thank you for that.
We'll see you next week. Not next week. Tomorrow.
We'll see you tomorrow.
For the last day of Podcastmas.
See you tomorrow when we cover 12 poisonings. Is that right?
Yes. You looked for a minute like you forgot what 12 was.
I couldn't remember for a second. Actually, this is really like, my brain is mashed potatoes.
Yeah. No, same.
I don't even remember. I'm researching, I'm recording, I'm editing. I don't even know what I'm on.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. Well, we'll see you. We'll catch you tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your Christmas Eve, and we'll catch you tomorrow for your last day of Podcastmas. It's been fun. It's been real. It ain't been real fun, but
yeah, it has.
It's been the best. All right. Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye. Hey, everyone. Thanks for listening. If you liked what you heard and want to support a small podcast, please give us money at
www.patreon.com/weekly dose of wicked, where you can join one of our 3 tiers. At the $5 level, we've got the moderately wicked. For $7 a month, we've got the awesomely wicked. And for all of those high rollers, big ballers out there, we got the $10 level, the extraordinarily wicked. As a member of our Patreon, you are entitled to bonus episodes. You also get a one-time shout out on our podcast, as well as some other cool little extra things going on there. So come on over, join our fan club.
Feel free to give us a follow on Instagram at
weekly_dose_of_wicked, or you can literally just search Weekly Dose of Wicked and we'll pop up because we're the only ones.
For a direct feed of our podcast, please go to
www.weeklydoseofwicked.buzzsprout.com.
Great news! You can now listen to us pretty much wherever you like to listen to podcasts.
That's right, folks. We are big time. You can now hear your Weekly Dose of Wicked on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Plus Alexa, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Pocket Cast, Deezer, Listen Notes, Player FM, Podcast Index, Overcast, Castro, Castbox, and Podfriend. The only place we can't seem to get ourselves on is Pandora. So we'll let you know when that happens.
In the meantime, make sure to come back next Wednesday for your
Weekly Dose of Wicked. But